NorCal. 209 King of Comedy. It's Rick without the K. James presents, in my opinion, podcast.
Let's end with this because I know you got to get on the road,
Yeah.
and they need their green room back here at Tommy T's. But who did you model your comedy after, and do you have a top five?
Oh boy, I just talked with Kabir. Like, my top five changes all the time. I don't model my comedy. I try to do everything I can. Like, if I'm being inspired, I try to cut it out because I'm like, oh, I'm liking his shit a little too much. I'm not gonna, because I don't want it in my head.
Yeah.
You know, I think when we were starting, when everybody starts, they have that fucking comic that they sort of gravitate towards because they don't have a voice yet. But now I'm not trying to be like fucking anybody, like, at all. Like, when I was starting, I loved Eddie Murphy, I loved Bill Burr, I loved Louis C.K. I feel like those guys maybe had the best influence stylistically. Now, I want nothing to do with anyone. I don't want to be compared to anyone. If I'm being compared, I need to do something different. That's just my mentality. But in terms of top five, like right now or all time?
Just people that, if you was a director in a movie and they were putting it together and they let you pick five comics, dead or alive, you're like, man, I got to work with these five.
Well, I mean, if you got to work with them.
And I'm not talking about, because people do this like, well, of course I'm Kevin Hart because he's going to help sell movie tickets or whatever the fuck. Just
off of ability, the best artists ever in their art. Okay, so the best stand-up has ever been performed is by Patrice ONeal. That's the best stand-up has ever been performed. Is he the best comic ever? I don't know. He's only had like 2 specials, maybe 3. I mean, he had one special. It was okay. The HBO was okay, but then he really hit his stride on Comedy Central. That Comedy Central special, Elephant in the Room, is the best stand-up has ever.
Comedy Central special?
I think it's actually Comedy Central gave it to him.
Huh.
Because it came off the roast. They're just about to put him on. Because they gave him the roast special. They're about to build him. Then he died. But, so, it's the best comedy he's ever performed. And then his album after that was Mr. P.
Yeah, Mr. P.
Fucking best comedy album. So, like, in terms of, like, raw performance.
Yeah.
Peak performance, Patrice ONeal. Is he the greatest all time? No, because you have to do, like, this for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. You got to be on top for a while. So I don't know if he's the greatest of all time, but he's certainly like the best. It's like Kobe and Jordan. Jordan's greater, but one-on-one, I think Kobe would kick Michael Jordan's ass. Just one-on-one. But in a 5-on-5 game, Jordan's going to be a better player. He's going to be better for the team. He's going to shoot more efficiently. But one-on-one, ain't nobody beating Kobe Bryant, dude. You know what I mean? Like, so one-on-one, Patrice versus every comedian, he's the best. But he's not best for the team. He's a solo guy, So I think that's who else? You got to say Pryor. Can we not say Pryor, Carlin? That shit's so tired now.
I think.
Who gives a fuck?
I think people say Pryor because he's like the Jordan.
They think they're supposed to.
No, because I think he's the Jordan. He's the switch over.
We know why he's the best because Richard Pryor factually.
You know what's funny is no one ever says Lenny Bruce.
I mean, he wasn't that funny.
Yeah. But he gave us a different style of comedy.
He did. He evolved it. So, I mean...
I just think it's funny. No one has... I've asked every comic, not one has ever said Lenny.
So here's the thing. Richard Pryor is the greatest ever. But I get tired of saying that. You know what I mean? It's just boring to talk about that. So for this list, I'm avoiding Carlin.
The funny thing is, I don't think I would put Pryor in there. But
yeah.
You're
going to put Chappelle number 1?
Probably.
You're tripping.
Yeah.
Hell no.
I put him above Patrice.
Fuck no.
I put him above Patrice only
no.
because he's just a prolific speaker.
He knows how to
I
get.
I think he can get attention anywhere.
He knows how to get attention. So you know what? If I'm gonna put him in the top 5, I'm gonna put him at number 5. Fuck no.
But I love Patrice.
Chappelle's the most overrated comedian of all time.
What?
Hell yeah. Bro, because people overly laugh at the shit. Like, man,
you know what's funny?
I went to the zoo, right? And I saw a gorilla. He was jerking off. Everybody's like, ah! I went to get a haircut. It was the same gorilla jerking off. Ah! not. Like his shit ain't really that.
Yeah, those are fight words.
Like,
but
killing him softly, Chappelle is like insane. He's like the best ever. Like,
I think.
so here's the best specials of all time. How about this?
Okay.
How about this? Elephant in the Room, killing him softly.
Okay.
Maybe even like those are actually tied for number one. So like peak performance, Chappelle is the shit. But like sometimes people be really on his dick,
You know what's
dude.
funny is
Some people are really on his dick. A little too
I tell
much.
people the best hour that I've ever seen, but I'm older than you, is Bring the Pain. To me, that's the best.
That's a pretty
solid
dope
hour.
Okay.
Especially the way it was written and what time he wrote it, and just I tell people you got to understand that he did those same jokes here in Oakland.
Yeah.
He got booed off stage,
Right.
and then films it and fucking.
Yeah. That's
To
Oakland
me,
for you.
and this is coming from someone who loves Dave Chappelle. But I remember watching that as a kid and just being like, "What the fuck?"
Because when he did Bring the Pain, it was they shot it in San Francisco, right?
No, I think they shot in D.C., Chocolate City.
Well, I thought he shot in D.C. Killing Him Softly.
No. You're talking about Chris Rock, right? Yeah, Chris Rock.
Wait a second, you're talking about...
I'm talking about Chris Rock Bring the Pain.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Chappelle being booed in Oakland.
No.
I was talking about Chris
Rock
being
being booed in Oakland.
Okay, yeah.
For Bring the Pain with the big CR in the background. And,
Right.
Yeah, that to me was the best hour. Still to date that, and I love Killing Me Softly. I love his other HBO special, For What It's Worth. I love that one.
Yeah.
I love the SF one that you're talking about.
No, there was one early. For What It's Worth is like where he talks about the chimp and the dicks and shit, right?
Yeah,
Pulling the dick off. There's one really early that he did in San Francisco.
That's the one with the blue top, or no? That's the Killing Me Softly.
He had like a jean, everything.
Jean.
He talked
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the semen on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they came in and why
That
you gotta
bit is like one of the greatest bits ever.
Oh,
so
yeah.
here's what's crazy about Chappelle. I just get mad at how much people dick ride him, but when he's at his best, he's like as good as anyone ever. Like he has like one of the greatest jokes ever, like about Aquaman, like talking. Have you ever heard his Aquaman joke?
I don't know.
It's like he's like, that's the most useless fucking superpower.
Oh yeah.
Talking to goldfish, like, what's up, fish? Hi, Aquaman. Hey, do you know where the bad guys are? Hi, Aquaman. I was like, damn it, that's one of the greatest fucking jokes ever.
I think that's why I like Dave Chappelle, because on the For What It's Worth, I said the funniest line on that hour to me is when he goes, I had to tell him something on the bus when he's jerking off. He goes, not because I'm like, dude, you're hitting me with your elbow. And he says it so softly into the mic where I'm like, that is the funniest punchline to me out of that whole fucking hour. I was like, come on, dude, you're hitting me with your elbow. Like,
Yeah.
So I pick up little stupid shit like that. So what's
you.
your other three?
Yeah, so I don't want to completely shit on Chappelle. I guess I'm more shitting on his fans.
Okay.
Because I've never seen...
And I agree with you, because I think the three Netflix, only one of them was good.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so it's it's kind of getting a little too much. Like, we have to love this dude. I'm like, sorry, man, you still got to earn it. Like, we all got to earn it, you know? Like,
yeah.
So, especially at $50 million, fuck. You know? Like, even Seinfeld has to go through criticism. As great as he is, like, he's been shit in the bed. You know, his last special wasn't that good. But as a comic, I've seen him live. Bro. Oh, he's so fucking good. Seinfeld?
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
I didn't, until I saw his shit on Netflix. Yeah, I didn't.
That might have been
I tell people I wouldn't have paid to see him, but after watching that, I was like, no, that dude, he gets down. He's surgical with his shit.
My buddy bought tickets for me, and I never thought, I was like, yeah, Seinfeld, you know. I never really thought his stand-up was that good. His sitcom was all right, you know. Curb was more funny. Then I saw him live. I was like, man, this might be my favorite fucking comedian. Is it? I don't know. I think he's maybe, but he's not my favorite. But for a second, I was like, is he my favorite? He's so good. I mean, it was hilarious. And they're like, oh, he's not in the moment. He's all on the script. Someone made a noise. He was so sharp. He was fast, dude. He's really fast, dude. And so you gotta call him. In terms of greatest, let's put Seinfeld there. I'm not talking about best. Let's just make it easy. Greatest, Richard Pryor. Chappelle is in the greatest, right? Because who's more prolific? You got Bill Burr, and this isn't in order, but Bill Burr is becoming the next Carlin.
Bill Burr, yeah. Bill.
You know, you're not allowed to put Louis C.K. in this shit anymore, but he deserves it. But I'm not going to put him in. You can't put him in, but that guy.
Again, it's one to me, art and artist. You know what I mean?
He left his thumbprint on comedy, and it's still here. People act like we've deleted him. Everybody's doing Louis C.K. All these fucking L.A. comics, they're doing Louis C.K.
Well, I just heard he just announced tour dates again.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Look, man, there's no comic that came out with the best hour every year. Like, out of all...
For 2 or 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
While filming a fucking show and editing and doing... Man, that's on another level.
He is in the 5. He just is. And I'm sorry about what he did to women, but let's pretend he didn't do it. He's 5. I'm willing to take it out for what he did. But just in terms of all the other comics' improvement, look at the good of them so you can improve yourself. It's not about stroking this guy. No pun intended. It's not about, it's not about uplifting him. It's about, noticing the good qualities that you could maybe adapt to yourself, right? Like, so Seinfeld, create the format of, kick-ass sitcom, great observational comedy, being a surgeon. That's why you put him up there, so that way you have something to aspire to. Louis had some good shit that we could all aspire to, and he jerked it all off.
You guys heard it here.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm really bad at top 5s, but I used to say Eddie Murphy's best all time, just because I thought he was the most talented.
He's gonna come back out, right?
Murphy?
Yeah.
We'll see how he does.
Do you think it's gonna be that standard?
I don't know. People love him People love him that much that he'll have a nice soft pad to land on.
I'm calling it right now. I think this special will be better than the 2 that he filmed.
He's gonna have to. I mean, yeah.
Only because I wasn't a big fan of either one of those specials. I think it was prolific in 1980, whatever it was. But I think he's gonna come with some surgical shit, and you're gonna realize, damn. Only because, come on, the life this dude has lived. If he can't find comedy in that shit, man, then maybe he shouldn't let out that hour.
Yeah, maybe he will. I don't know what he'll do. I just don't know. But I just know when he was doing Delirious and Raw, he had everything. He had jokes. He had stories. He had the best impressions. Like, he had no weakness. I don't know if there's any comic. Because, like, with Patrice, I think that's the best stand-up he's ever performed. But he has weaknesses. He's not an impressionist.
Yeah.
Right? He's not, like, a storyteller, or act-out guy. Like, he has weaknesses. He's not strong in those areas. But the areas that he is strong makes him, like, the best. It's amazing.
I think he was the best at toting, at going back and forth on the line.
Yeah, it was nice.
Like, and he wouldn't give a fuck, but just the way he did it. Patrice, you were like...
He was so original.
He was the only one that could get away with that shit.
And he's so... Yeah, because he's so insanely original. But, so I think his originality makes him the best because his originality is just so good. But Eddie Murphy is the only comic that I could say has, like, no weaknesses. He's like LeBron. You know what I mean? Like, he's just good at everything.
Boy, Charlie Murphy, my main man, Ric James. That's the one you think, the comedian Ric James. Get up.
I can't hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe.
Please hit the subscribe button down low so you can see all new clips, all new episodes coming to you.